other day, we got a surprise signing to a two-way contract in Dylan Windler. The Los Angeles Lakers ended up letting go of Alex Fudge and Demoy Hodge, which were two tough pills to swallow, especially Hodge. I really liked Hodge a lot. I really thought Hodge was a guy that I think could even have played a small role this season with his ability to defend as well as shoot the three ball. Alex Fudge was a project type player, but he was young. I mean, you could have had him basically just hid him away, developed him for the next 7 years, and he would still be younger than Dylan Windler is, right? And look, Dylan, he's coming off of a huge stretch with the Westchester Knicks. He's 27 years old, so he's a veteran. He has 4 years of league experience. He could play basically 1 through 3 if you need him to, even small ball 4 in some spots. Right? He's a guy that's shooting 38% from 3. He's a guy that is more now, right? Where Demoy Hodge, Alex Fudge are two guys that are ideal for the future of the Lakers, right? Two guys that hopefully at some point could have came in, played a role in the rotation, whether that's on the bench or maybe a starting role would have been super ideal because that means they really progressed. But regardless, the Lakers ended up letting go 2 project players for a guy that could be a more into the bench type guy, a more veteran guy, a guy that, you know, he's not going to play a huge significant role, but he is a guy that could, you know, play spot minutes here and there, rebounds the ball tremendously, and fits a need that the Lakers have. Well, we got more news today that the Lakers have now signed Skyler Mays, which again fits the same mold as Dylan. You're talking a 26-year-old with 4 years of experience, playing with the Portland Trail Blazers, right? This is a guy that can play both the point guard and the 2 guard. A guy that has experience in this league. He's played with Atlanta and Portland this season, 26 years old. He played in 21 games for Portland, started in 5 of them, averaged 17 minutes a game, and averaged 6 points, 4 assists, 1.8 rebounds, and a steal. Guy that can get after it on both sides of the basketball. Again, not a guy that's going to jump out the page or do anything, but you know, at 6'3", 6'4", 205 is a guy that could play either guard position that the Lakers could really utilize. Now, why would the Lakers do this? Right? There's a couple things that I think are interesting. One is the timing, and 2, the fact that these are veteran guys. The Lakers got rid of Demoy Hodge and got rid of Alex Fudge, and then replace them with like 2 other 20 or 23-year-olds or something like that, then I wouldn't think anything of it. I wouldn't look at it as anything more of like, hey, you know, the Lakers just must not have been super high on Hodge and Fudge. So clearly that's all it is. They just brought these guys in. And maybe that's the case with Mays. Maybe that's the case with Windler. But why 2 26 and 27-year-olds that are closer to finished products than they are actually development and young talent that you can grow with, right? These are 2 guys that you would have at the end of your bench. Well, to me, this signals a Zach Lavine trade's coming, right? Because if there was any other trade, right, say a DeJounte Murray, for example, you wouldn't need Skylar Mays. There wouldn't be a reason to go and get Skylar Mays because you're not going to unload multiple guards or multiple pieces, right? You're probably giving up like Rui and maybe like a Jalen Hood-Schifino or whatever, and a first or whatever, right? And, you know, maybe throwing in it like a Jackson Hayes or something just to finish matching out salaries. But if you look at Zach Lavine, now you have to give up D'Angelo Russell. You have to give up Rui Hachimura. You're probably getting rid of Gabe Vincent. So you're getting rid of 2 of your point guards. And one of the things that I talked about is my biggest concern is the Lakers having another playmaker, even in a minimal role. You have LeBron James, right? You would still have Austin Reeves that can kind of play in that role. But you need somebody that can come in and give you 10 to 15 minutes a game. Well, that's where Skyler Mays would come in and be able to provide that, right? Why do you get Dylan? Because you need to fill roster spots, right? the Lakers go and trade, let's say, for Zach Lavine and Andre Drummond, right? And they give up D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, and let's say Jalen Hood-Schifino and Maxwell Lewis, right? Well, you have to maintain 14 guys. You have about 2 weeks to figure it out, but you have to maintain at least minimum 14 guys before you get into the playoffs, right? Then you got to get that 15. But if the Lakers go and make a trade for Zach Lavine, that's going to drop them to probably 10, maybe 9 guys on the roster. So what do? Right? Well, you start by bringing in 2 two-way contracts, and you allow them to spend the next 2 weeks to develop and understand the system and kind of get a feel for them. It also gives you time to where if like you're not really liking what you're seeing, you can cut them and go get new ones, right? It gives you time. Like I said, timing I think is very interesting with this. If it was 2 young guys, I wouldn't have said anything. Wouldn't have thought anything of it. I would have just said, hey, look, we signed these guys. That's great. Or, if it was after the trade done, okay, hey, we signed these 2 guys. That's it. It's great. But no, you're talking, we're like 2 weeks away from being able to trade for Zach Lavine. And all of a sudden, the Lakers bring in 2 veteran guys on 2 ways, right? So that way you can have them play with the G League team. You can have them practice, right? But you don't have to because you can't bring them on the roster right now. You have 14 guys. Right? And you could sign them to a 10-day, but then you don't have control over them beyond that. You sign them to 10 days, whatever, but you need those other 10 days to get looks at other guys, right? So how do you get a look at 3, 4, 5 guys all at once? Well, you put 2 of them on a 2-way contract, and then you go and you bring in, a 10-day or 2 of those, and now you can kind of get a good look at some of these guys. You go and make the Zach Lavine trade, and then you bring all these guys up. Skylar Mays and Dylan Windler, they both get bumped up to actual roster spots. Right? And now you fill that roster. Because if you trade for Zach Lavine, you only need end-of-the-bench guys. You're still going to have 8 to 9 guys deep. Right? So let's say, you trade D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, and then Jalen Hood-Schifino, whatever it is. And you go get Zach Lavine and Andre Drummond. Well, now you have Zach Lavine, Andre Drummond. You have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves. You have Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes. I mean, there's 9 guys right there. If you can keep Max Christie, there's Max Christie. There's 10 guys. Again, you just need guys for the end of the bench. That's it. So, you get a guy like a Skylar Mays who, if you need him to play, you can. He can play in a pinch. He has experience. He's played this year. And you get a guy like a Dylan, right, who can come in and do the same thing. Right? If you need him in a pinch, he can do it. He rebounds the basketball. He can play multiple positions. So he fill a void, fill a need. He can make some plays, shoots the 3 ball well. Both of these guys are capable of playing off the ball. Skylar Mays has not shot the 3 ball well this season. On 2.5 attempts, he's averaging 29%. But last year, on 4.5 attempts, he shot 46% from 3. So can he get closer to that? Right? Where 3-4 attempts a game, he's shooting 40% from 3. Right? Playing alongside LeBron, playing alongside AD and Reeves and all these other guys, especially if you end up getting like a Zach Lavine. Lakers could use another shooter. You get these guys on cheap deals. You bring these guys in on easy minimal contracts. You find those diamonds in the rough. That's what I think these are. And I genuinely believe that this is a signal that the Lakers are going to end up making a trade for Zach Lavine. Look, I could be completely wrong. I could be completely misreading the room. It is a very real possibility. Don't get me wrong. It is very possible that I am just overthinking this and overlooking it. But the timing is strange, and the fact that they are 2 27-year-old, 26 and 27-year-olds is why I lean towards this is a move that signals a trade. They're not trading these 2. They are, because I've seen other people mention other people are saying this doesn't signal a trade, right? But then you listen to those people and they're like, well, they're not going to use these guys as pieces to trade. Yeah, they're not. They're using these guys as into the bench pieces because they're going to trade the other guys that are on the roster. And you need to kind of fill out the roster. That's what this provides. That's what this does. So, I don't know. Again, I could be overlooking it, but it's just, if anything, it's just a very questionable move, right? If it really is nothing, and it is just, hey, we like these two guys, right? Why not bring them on 10 days? Why not, whatever. I don't know. Why get rid of two projects that is the whole idea of a two-way? And especially Demoy Hodge. Demoy Hodge, I think you could have brought up and played, but he doesn't necessarily play the role that you need. Right? He's a guy that, yes, he can shoot and defend a little bit, but he doesn't have the experience. And two, he's not a guy that can play like the point guard role or anything. He's more of like a off-ball 3-and-D style guy. Right? But you need a guy like a Skylar Mays if you get rid of D'Lo and Gabe Vincent. Just saying. It's strange, to say the least. But I have my tinfoil cap on. That's my little theory. It's my little idea. Don't be surprised the Lakers trade for Zach Lavine. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think, this is definitely a signal that the Lakers are trading for a Zach Lavine or somebody, right? Maybe it's somebody else. Maybe it's somebody that we just don't think of. I don't think it's DeJounte Murray, because if it was DeJounte Murray, you wouldn't need Skylar Mays. You wouldn't. You'd have Murray, Reeves, and LeBron. You'd be fine there. But, again, if you get Zach Lavine isn't a point guard. So, you need that point guard depth. But, anyway, again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.